Hello again. Sorry I missed last couple of days. It's been very busy. So I wanted to just go ahead and jump in. Long story short, I mean, I may redo this again sometime, but the whole trip to the right thing is very simple. Uh, you learn more information, you evolve your opinions, you understand why people are conservative. Life moves on. You want to be successful, you mimic this successful. It's that simple. Speaking of mimicking the successful, I want to jump into a different topic. I want to talk about uh, people that accuse people of racial appropriation are actually guilty of racial appropriation themselves. Uh, First of all, hello, this is my Asmata, my show. Let's get into it. So, there's a movie coming out soon called Crazy Rich Asians. And there's been movies like this before. It's not new, but a lot of people are praising it for all the wrong reasons and jumping into all the wrong stuff. And it makes no sense. You know, it's it's fine. It's a normal movie, but the way it's being perceived is all wrong. People are clamoring because, like, they're saying, "Oh my God, it's Asians and they're so successful," and "Oh my God, virtue signal. They're so good. They're so pure." Look, Asian movies have existed in history for a long, long time. Nothing's new. But what they're so proud of is that it's this aristocratic white Western culture that they're appropriating. Okay? It's white culture that they're appropriating. They say they don't, but they do. And look, Asian movies have been in America in the West forever. It's not a new subject. you know. And the whole thing is like, oh, this is a romance comedy. You know what? Romance comedies have always existed, and they're particularly mostly made by white people for white people. But the rest of the world likes them because in the West we've kind of glorified and worshipped women for so long that we've, got it down to a formula of what women like. And it's very easy and it's very obvious to figure out what women like. And spoilers, women all across the world like this shit, okay? Look, like I said, Asian movies have been popular in America and the West for years. Enter the Dragon, China Cop, you name it. There's been movies from all over mainland China, Hong Kong, you name it. Japan. They don't always necessarily do well in America or in the West because they have different ideals and they're appealing to their culture, which is fine. And then other people can enjoy their culture for what it is, which is totally fine. But to say that there's never been, uh, a Chinese movie or a Asian movie, the fact that they're calling it an Asian movie is actually racist in itself. I mean, like I said before, I'm a former SJW. I know these terms. I know very well what they mean and how they work. But look, it's a clear case of they're committing the crimes that they say they hate. Things like appropriation and racialization. No, they're just as guilty, if not more guilty, because they're the ones that kind of push this stuff. You know, if you've ever heard the saying, if you're looking for demons or dragons, you'll find one because you're looking so hard, you'll create one yourself. It's very easy. So you'll point out misogyny, sexism on everything, and then when it's something you care about and you like and you don't want to see change, guess what? Someone's going to say cry, misogyny, racism, whatever on the thing you like, and you forgive it for that. The point is, the world has stereotypes. It's always had stereotypes. This is not new. It's always existed that way, and that's not a bad thing. But what we're seeing here is, I mean, I hate to use their terms, but it is cultural appropriation. So, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is a great example of Eastern lore. Things like Journey to the West are great examples of the hero's story in China. You have men and women, and it's all Asian, spoilers, you know, and when they come out saying that, movies like Crazy Rich Asians are like, oh, this is the first time we've ever seen this. No, bullshit. And they know it's bullshit because they've seen those other movies. The thing is, a lot of these SJW people, when it comes down to it, are just straight communists. If you've ever studied the communist revolution in China or in Russia, they had to keep reinventing the revolution to keep it going because once the revolution ends, people are not satisfied with who's in power and they kill each other and they re-revolutionize again and again. That's why communism has the most highest death count of any ideology. So again, another example of cultural appropriation is like the movie Black Panther. People praised it for having an almost all black cast, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so diverse." Look, the noble savage is so brave and so wise. This is a great example of racial appropriation. Probably one of the best. It's not a bad movie per se, but it is racial appropriation at the highest. Because in the movie, they try to maintain like a tribal thing. And it's like, look, tribalism didn't exist in the West for very long. It was gone very quickly. But in Africa, it's still very strong and it still fucks people every day. It's not a new situation. But you see, like, technology here. I mean, sci-fi's always had like a mixture of the old with the new. That's always been like thematic. But they're clearly trying to make it African. Like, this is clearly supposed to be a Zulu warrior. And the whole idea of Wakanda is like, oh, they've been keeping to themselves and they have this amazing technology. And, they're doing the white savior story just in reverse. That's all it is. It's the white savior story in reverse, and it's fucking pathetic. And throughout the movie, it's got these very black isms, black cultures. And then, they claim that, oh, it's technology what makes them so advanced. But in the movie, they only talk about voodoo magic. So bullshit on you calling it technology. It's so bullshit. And you have this character here. I forget the sister's name. But this sister is supposed to be like the techno genius, yet nothing about her says that she's techno or anything like that, that she's smart of any sort. I mean, she has fucking tribe, makeup on. That's how fucking pathetic this is. Look, you want to make a Ooga Booga movie? Fine. Make an Ooga Booga movie. I don't care. It's like a modern interpretation of things like war games. They're taking the plot of like, oh, America, it has this so cool technology and people are excited about technology, and we're using technology to fight the bad guys. And the thing is, they're trying to appropriate like white culture. And keep in mind, I'm not a white identitarian. I'm not like white culture is superior, but you are literally taking existing themes, existing plots that have been popular in white culture for a long time because these are things we literally care about. Okay, your culture doesn't. Look at any other example. Watch 1,000 black, movies. None of them are talking about technology and, oh my God, what does the future of AI mean? But do you know how many white movies are? A freak ton. So let's not pretend that you're interested in this shit. It's pure cultural appropriation. That's why I freaking hate SJW types. It's because they're guilty of everything that they say they hate. Just freaking drives me crazy. All right, so let's get back to the Crazy Rich Asians story. Um, so the thing about this, right, is that look, Asians hate being called Asians in the West because Americans and Europeans don't know shit about Asian culture. Okay, it's a fact. But you can't really blame us for that because, spoilers, Asia's really far. We don't really do a lot with Asia. It's very foreign. That's why the word foreign exists. You know, you are a foreigner. Even if you're born here, the culture you grow up with is not the culture of the indigenous people. So don't act surprised if people don't know, you know? Like, I've lived in Asia as a white person, and I felt like a foreigner. And guess what? That's no one's fault. That's just a happenstance. You get used to it. Don't blame people for not knowing your culture. Now, the idea behind this Crazy Rich Asians movie is they're really trying to rally around the Asian flag, even though they don't like it. And they're trying to, put up themes of like Chinese, Singaporean, Hong Kong, Filipino, Thai, things like that, and trying to express what those cultures are known for in this cavalcade of like diversity. And it's not that Asians can't be diverse, of course they can. They can be as diverse as white people because it's just a color label. But the problem here is not that they're presenting Asian culture. They're far from that. They're presenting white culture in an Asian package. And the truth of the matter is, most Asians in the West and even in Asia, they hate their culture. They really do. And it's so unfortunate because they have a good, proud, very noble culture that they should be proud of. I mean, okay, Enter the Hidden Dragon isn't the best example, but you have movies like, uh, what is that, Old Dog, I think? Um, I can't find it right now. But there's a bunch of examples of really good movies like Ringu is a great example. You know, it's a great example of Japanese horror. There are a lot of wonderful examples of different cultures. China, Journey to the West is probably one of the best stories ever written, but they don't give enough credence to their own culture because they turn around and they hate it. They hate it and they like white culture. They like and the thing is, most Americans and some Brits and some Europeans have turned away from this Aristotelian lifestyle, like aristocrat. The thing that a lot of Asians are in love with, this suit and dress society of these garden parties, like, this is literally their idea of what white people do. There's a comedian by the name of, what's her name? Ali Wong. Ali Wong did a joke about, you know, um, her husband is half Japanese, half Filipino, and she's half Vietnamese, half Chinese, is her parents. And so she's kind of this gobbledygook of Asian, and so it was very confusing for her growing up in San Francisco. And the thing is, she made a joke about how she feels like she's pretending to be white. And this is a common theme. Asians pretending to be white is a big theme for Asians. It's a very big thing. It's a very real thing. Okay, you can look it up. And it's really unfortunate that they hate their culture so much. And here's the thing that drives me crazy, that you can call a white identitarian argument. And I'll talk about this again in more detail, but the thing is, white people are universally liked around the world. Like, blacks like white people, Asian like white people, and white people like white people. They're a very popular group. And when you look down on white people, a lot of the times it's because you're jealous of how they are and how they act. And I've been told this by many Asians from multiple groups because I see the dysfunction in black families and I see the dysfunction in Asian families. But the sad thing is white people are just not reproducing, and it's our population is slowly going down. And here's the thing. The world actually needs white people, not because of technology, not because of all this, but people like something to look up to. They like an eidolon. They like something that they can hold above themselves and say, this is a good ideal to strive towards. Now, that doesn't mean people are like white people are superior. What it means is that we have a set of values in the West that is very honorable and very good for society and good for people. And we struck a very good balance in the West of how to take care of people. And they're super jealous of that in other countries. And I can understand, but the thing is, jealousy can very easily turn into hatred and, tearing yourself down and tearing others down. And here's some proof of what I'm talking about Asians trying to act white, particularly Chinese. Chinese are obsessed with this aristocratic culture. They're paying tons and tons of money to act white or to act aristocratic. Stuff that they think white people do, even though we don't do. They don't care what we actually do, but they think this is what we do. And they're in love with it, which is fine. Anyways, China Uncensored, it's a good show. Check it out. It does some really well, fairly balanced material on a lot of things. Please do check it out. The other thing I wanted to cover is, you'll hear the term thrown around by SJWs like, oh, he's, culture appropriating, or he's, oh my god, he has yellow fever. He only wants to date Asian women, or whatever that shit is. And by the way, don't even try to say that about me. I was married to one white woman for 10 years, and I've only dated like several people, and all of them being white, and only my current wife is Filipino, so get fucked. Anyway, I just want to show a little bit of this documentary on PBS, and salute to PBS for being honest and publishing independent stuff. Go back to this PBS, go back to this ABC, CBS, go back to independent journalism and let people decide. Don't do this opinion-based reporting shit because it's lazy. I know you're doing it because it's cheap and you're trying to get eyes. But to be honest, you're dying already, so you might as well try to do some good reporting. And see, look, he looks like a famous Hollywood actor. See, in America, we would call that like, ignorant and oh my god, all Asians look alike. Well, spoilers, fucking Asians think that all white people look alike. It's just unfamiliarity with a culture. That's all it freaking is. Anyways, this shit drives me crazy. Cultural appropriation is bullshit. They're guilty of their own stuff. And frankly, I feel bad for the many, many half Asian and Asian people in America and Europe that hate their own culture. It's really sad. And you should really learn about your own culture. I mean, I'm glad you're American, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not American or you're not European, because you are from where you're born. That's just how it is. You are American, you are European. You are not Chinese, okay? Seriously, if you're a Chinese born American in ABC or whatever, go to your home country, see what it is they live like. You'll find that you have nothing in common with them. So don't call, racial appropriation bullshit anymore. Just learn the facts of life. Learn that everyone is human just like you, and they have interests, whether or not it's in a certain culture or not. That's just how life is. I don't know what I'll be talking about next time, but I just wanted to drop this video real quick because it was driving me crazy and I had to talk about something, and I'm sorry I missed a couple days because of family bullshit. Anyways, have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye.